everybody. Today we're here with Anisha Abraham and Cara Natterson. They are both pediatricians. They are both authors. Anisha is an author of the new, about to be released in October book, Raising Global Teens. Can you pre-order it, Anisha?
You certainly can. You can pre-order it on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles.
And Cara is the author of Decoding Boys and the founder of UMLA, a puberty lifestyle company. All right, so let's talk about the importance of continued mask wearing as the kind of, I think there's this fatigue around just the conversation around a pandemic, COVID, and so the loosening of the rules feels just out of sheer exhaustion. So what do we do about imposing that today? Is it equally as important?
Yeah, it is. It's probably more important as we're heading into winter. The temperatures are going to start getting cooler. People are going to start congregating indoors. And if we don't make this habitual, if we don't put on our masks constantly, we are going to see the repercussions of that. But I will say that part of the fatigue is mask fatigue. Part of it is that we are seeing numbers published showing that in many states, although by no means all, the spread of the disease is slowing. When people see those numbers, they often then take that as permission to not restrict their lives in as many ways. So some don't wear their masks as aggressively, some end up inviting more people over, some, take the opportunity to go wherever, to an outdoor restaurant or an outdoor mall. And in and of themselves, probably none of these individual behaviors are going to light a wildfire of virus, but all together, communally, if everyone becomes lax in one way or another, the communal impact is huge. So, there has been a lot of confusion about mask wearing. There's nothing confusing about it. Every single person should have a mask on unless they are at home, hanging out with the people who live under their roof. But really, you walk out the front door, you grab a mask, house keys and a mask. It should be an absolute habit at this point.
I would just add from my own experience living in Europe and certainly having lived in Hong Kong as well, that mask wearing has been so important in terms of bringing the numbers down. And we just see the differences. The United States is one of the countries that has the highest rates because we as a society, as a group, have not been consistent in our use of masks. And in other countries, this is very much a community effort. People know that they need to put those masks on to protect each other. And as a result, the numbers are much different. Obviously, that's part of the concerted effort with contact tracing and other things with social distancing. But that mask wearing has been so important. We know that globally. And that's why we're struggling in so many ways. And that's why countries like Hong Kong and the Netherlands, where I lived, kids are back in school because they're able to keep the numbers down. So if we want our kids to do well, get back into school and do all of the things that we like to continue in their lives, we need to take that effort as parents and model that and make sure our kids do the same.
Two highly regarded pediatricians right here, right now, are saying keep wearing your masks. It's part of being a good global citizen, to use Anisha's book title. No, that's not your book title. Sorry.
Raising Global Teens, but we can be good global citizens as well.
Okay, so you're hearing it right now from two highly regarded pediatricians that it is still excessively important to wear your mask. Now, what do you both suggest? I see a lot of people putting the mask under their nose, and then, do we ask someone to put it up over their nose? There's so much judgment right now, and people digging their heels in about what they politically believe in. What do we do if mask wearing saves all of us? How do we deal with that?
Oh, if we had an answer, we'd be,
it goes over the nose, right?
Okay. So super basic. So when the virus is spread, it is spread largely through respiratory droplet. It gets aerosolized. The air comes out of our body through our mouth and our nose. So if we don't cover both of those parts, we're not actually doing what we need to do to protect other people around us. So there's just some common sense around when you mask, you have to mask this whole area. But in terms of how you tell someone to mask or not, this is very tricky because we do live in a society here in the US. I would love to hear about what it's like in Europe and in Asia, Anisha, but in the US, people do not take kindly to being reminded how to look out for other people. It's a problem. It is a social issue that has public health ramifications. So my kids have asked me the question, do I tell someone? And quite honestly, my answer is not if you don't know them, because I just don't know how they're going to respond to you. And that's a personal safety issue. And I wish we lived in a different kind of culture than that. Anisha, is it different in Europe and in Asia?
It certainly is. I just think that there's much more of a communal feeling that we need to do this. We're in it together. If this is the rule, we need to continue to embrace this. So it's a lot less polarizing. It is not a political issue. And in fact, many different groups come together on this issue and say, let's be unified in our approach. So that's not the reality in the United States. And I would agree with you that we have to be very careful in terms of who we tell what to do. Personally, you worry about how they would retaliate. However, if they're in a healthcare setting or if there's clear rules and you're in a place and they say masks are required, I don't have a lot of problems saying, did you see the sign? We're all trying to protect each other. Do you mind? Or going to someone else that might be better able to give that information to them, a security guard or someone that's, overseeing that place. But it's tough to do. And I guess the other option is that you remove yourself from that person that doesn't really want to wear their mask at all, or is not wearing their mask, properly, and keep a very good distance from them. Is what we need to do. But it's a sad reality, and it's not the case in many other places in the world.
Okay, I'll give each of you a second to close if you have anything else to add.
Anisha, you want to go?
Well, I would just say that we've talked about some really wonderful topics today, and I just want to reiterate the importance again of coming back to conversations at home, because young people are really, really feeling the repercussions of the pandemic, and they're feeling isolated, they're feeling frustrated, as we talked about, they're feeling stressed, and how we can help as parents and caregivers in terms of making sure that we understand where they are, how that we can support them, and then looking out for some of the warning signs that we talked about is so key. And then on top of that, continuing to wear our masks, and do all of the usual things that we're doing in terms of prevention, being aware of any scams or quackery medicine that's out there. I think there isn't a lot of good data to support other things just yet. So sticking to what we know in terms of good, solid science and evidence, and protecting ourselves and protecting the people around us is so important.
Yeah, and I'm going to do just a little shameless mask plug. I launched a company this spring. It's a tween and teen lifestyle company, a puberty lifestyle company, but we launched with masks. Who would have thought that would be something you would need during puberty? And our masks are soft and they are filtered, and kids love them because they can tolerate them and breathe through them comfortably. So if you're struggling to find a good mask, check out Umla, because our goal is to give people something that they actually will wear. And that's my shameless little sense.
Umla.com?
MyOomla, MyOomla.com.
Great.
They're masks, by the way, Cara. They're really cute.
Thank you.
Dr. Anisha Abraham, Dr. Cara Natterson, Dr. Anisha Abraham, Dr. Cara Natterson, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.